Welcome to Morning Message for February the 27th. It must have been sometime during the summer, or perhaps the late spring in 1966, when it came time for me to be registered to enter school. Northbrook Elementary School, which there might be a picture on the screen right now of Northbrook School. That part of the school wasn't there when I registered, or at least it had been redone many years later. It's no longer an elementary school. I think it's part of the police academy in Halifax. I could be corrected on that. But that's where I went in the gymnasium to be registered with my mom. And one of the criteria for registration was each new student had to be capable of tying their own shoelaces. I suppose the primary school teachers didn't want to be saddled with that responsibility every recess and every lunchtime and every day at the end of the school. So we had to know how to tie our own shoes. And so as you're registering, there'd be someone there who would actually watch you to see if you could tie your own shoes. I failed. It was a skill I hadn't really picked up. So just outside of the gym, there's a little bluff of bedrock. And so I actually remember sitting there with my mom as we I learned how to tie my own shoes. And we went back into the gym to register for school, and I could show to the teachers that were there that I actually knew how to tie my own shoes. I remember one time, I must have watched some children kind of playing, and my sister was near me, and I said something along the lines of, "Oh, to be young again." And my sister Penny stopped me, and she said, "What are you talking about? I mean, we all had stresses. It doesn't matter who you are. All children growing up have stresses in their lives. Do you really want to go back there? Do you really want to go back to those times like that time when you had to learn how to tie your shoes just to enter grade primary?" We all had stresses. We all do throughout our lives. I did. We all do. And the reason I'm talking about things that might stress us is that the annual meeting is coming up this Sunday for St. Paul's Church here in Charlottetown. It is a time, I suppose, when a lot of clergy and perhaps even some of the other officers in the church feel as though the community is about to judge their work, what they've been doing the past year. And nobody likes to be judged in that way. But really, when it comes down to it, annual meetings ought to be an opportunity for us as ministers within the church, lay ministers, clergy, whatever, to take an opportunity to look back on the year and see what successes there were, but also to look at ways in which we could have done better. But it's also an opportunity for us to look to the future and ways in which we can commit ourselves to do better. So I approach this annual meeting this Sunday, with a bit of madness. What? Me worry? I'm not going to stress too much about the annual meeting. The annual report is there. It's a great opportunity for people to evaluate, take an honest and open look at what we've done in the past year, given that it was an extraordinary year. But it's also an opportunity for us to begin to gaze towards the future realistically and make some plans for the future and what the future might hold. Primarily, of course, is to continue the work to keep ourselves safe as we meet together, as we try and be the church together, but also to look at ways in which we can improve what we're doing and to take on new tasks and new responsibilities as we work to be a community of love and justice, a community that wants to express God's love and mercy in the world, and to call ourselves and to others to justice. To be the people God intends us to be, so that God's will is done on earth and by us as well. So annual meetings really ought to be a time when we don't need to worry about whether or not we can tie our shoes. We don't need to worry about whether or not we've made mistakes in the past. It's an opportunity for us to commit ourselves to a future where we try again to do God's will. That's as true for a parish as it is for any of us. So my hope and prayer for all of us today is that we will indeed be people of love and mercy, that we will indeed be a people who will do our best this day and every day to be the people God wants us to be. God bless. Amen.